Robot Wars. So far on Robot Wars, we've seen some devastation, some destruction, some demolition, all inflicted on the robots that couldn't quite cut the mustard. And a few surprise upsets.
The world's toughest robots are set to mash metal for the chance to be crowned grand champion. Hello everyone, I'm your host Joni. When it's over here tonight, a third name will be added to the tournament semifinals. We'll end up with 16 overall before moving into our final competition. Who will survive? Who will get junked? There's only one way to find out. Let's get it started.
Welcome to another edition of Robot Wars. In Heat A, we saw the seeded #1, Chaos 2, flipping his way to a destructive victory. And in Heat B, we saw an incredible upset with Razor, the dominant robot, taken out by Pussycat and dumped in the pit. So there we have the two semifinalists of 16, Chaos 2 and Pussycat. Today in Heat C, you'll see 6 more bots going up head-to-head with the added destruction of the house bots. They are Dead Metal with a 3,000 RPM serrated saw, Shunt as strong as an ox with a powerful diamond edge axe, Matilda fearsome with her tusks of steel and truly a sting in her tail, Sergeant Bash, the sergeant carries an awesome flamethrower and a devastating set of pincers. And Sir Killalot, the big daddy of them all. Sir Killalot has a deadly lance and hydraulic cutters. Now, the house bots are virtually invincible. If the competitor's robot is foolish enough to stray into one of the corner patrol zones, it can be sliced by Matilda, torched by Bash, crushed by Killalot, tossed, trampled, twisted, torn, and, well, you get the idea. Today in Heat C, you're gonna see Diotoir up against Bolt from the Blue and Ming 2. But first up, Firestorm 2 up against the Morgue and Scar.
From Leamington Spa, Scar.
Scar, tip of the scales at 175 pounds, is using a couple of wheelchair motors and has got a real destructive steel cutter for a weapon.
This is our robot Scar. I'm Chris. That's Tony, my brother. Hi. We've got a 3mm outer steel shell. We have silicon-filled tyres. We also have on the front, we have a 6-bladed heavy wheel on the front. We can also run inverted with the steel balls on here.
From Swansea, Morgue.
The Morgue at 168 pounds. It's got a couple of electric motors, too, with front lifting forks and a real low center of gravity. This one's going to be tough to kill.
Hello there, we're the Morgue team. This is our body made of Kevlar. I'm going to take this off, boys. And inside you'll be able to see that at the back we have 2 motors here off a Scania truck, which are controlled by a control card here. We've got our servo controllers here and the actuator, and our weapon at the front is then linked to that with our aggressive spikes and protection using the aluminium checker plate. Thank you.
From Durham, seed #5, Firestorm.
Firestorm using that tried and tested wedge-shaped design. It's got a real powerful flipping arm, and it's a bit hard to control, but these guys have had all the experience.
Firestorm 2, bigger and better than the last was, bigger gas supply, bigger rams, bigger batteries, bigger motors, bigger and better. We're here to win, we're here for our revenge on Chaos 2.
Roboteers, stand by.
There's Scar with the Morgue and Firestorm 2.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Here we go for the first round of Heat C. Firestorm 2 right into the Scar immediately. The Scar's having no problems being upside down because it doesn't matter. They got wheels either way. Scar comes back into the action, right into the side of Morgue. The Scar looks kind of slow, but Firestorm doesn't, and Firestorm makes Scar pay for it. Firestorm's got all the speed in this round, it seems. Firestorm doing a couple of little circles around there, but now the Morgue wants to get into the action. The Morgue looking like a septic tank. It's probably not going to do too much good jumping into the flames like that. And the Scar gets rear-ended and then upended. What a great design the Scar is. Too bad they didn't put any speed in the design. Oh, Firestorm right into the side of the Morgue. The Morgue is upside down. They could be toast, or they could be dead in their tracks. Firestorm, too, with a great design. You know, if the Morgue stays upside down like that without a self-righting mechanism for more than 30 seconds, they're immobilized, which means the house bots can come in and have their way. And here comes Kill-A-Lot now. They're all moving in. Firestorm knows not to do too much more damage because only 2 can make it through into the next round. And 1 is definitely going to go down, and aptly named the Morgue, as he gets laid upon the old cremation slab. It's going to get a little heat up, but oh, Firestorm 2 puts the Scar right up against the rails, just to add a little bit of insult to the situation. The Morgue seems to be spewing fluid out of the end of him. I don't know what that is. But the Morgue manages to get away, but I think it's a bit too late. He's already been immobilized. So the Morgue gets an autopsy. Firestorm 2 and Scar go through. After the break, Diotoir, Bolt from the Blue, and Ming 2. Welcome back to Robot Wars. When we last left you, Firestorm 2 was tearing it up in the ring. The Scar was getting bludgeoned, and the Morgue got sent to the funeral home. He was immobilized for more than 30 seconds, which means the Scar and Firestorm 2 get sent through to round 2 of Heat C. So, in the second of our 2 eliminators, Diotoir, Bolt from the Blue, and Ming 2, coming up next.
From Kendall in the Lake District, Bolt from the Blue.
Bolt from the Blue in at 175 pounds. Couple of electric motors, a flipper arm, you know the drill. He's got really slow acceleration, but he's got a tough case.
Right, this is my robot, Bolt from the Blue. I'm James Proctor. My teammates are Chris Ellery and my dad. Its weapon is a pneumatic flipper, which is powered by compressed air, which can lift around half a ton.
From Bob, Ming 2.
Ming 2 at a pound more than Bolt from the Blue. Doesn't look anything like a Chinese vase, but he's got some mean-looking spikes and a flipper that's gonna get him out of trouble.
My name's Andrew, and these are my 2 sons, Alexander and Oliver, and this is Ming 2 with the flipping platform in the middle. It works both ways up. I've got a mechanism at the front to enable me to get underneath other robots so that I can flip them, and I have 2 air-driven spikes on the side, which I hope to inflict some serious damage with.
From Dublin, seed number 21, Diotoir.
Diotoir with that low-budget pink leopard. You're never gonna miss that out of the crowd. Spring-loaded lifting arm, strong and durable, but better keep it out of the fire.
My name is Kieran Bourne. This is Pete Redmond. This is the robot Diotoir, and as you can see, 4 again. This is the weapon, and Pete will tell you about the weapon.
Well, this year the weapon has improved. It should be twice as fast as it was last time. The motors are slightly faster as well, so we've got a little bit more power and a little bit more go.
Roboteers, stand by.
There's Bolt from the Blue, and Diotoir, and Ming 2, looking
3,
serious there.
2, 1, activate.
Time for some mechanical mayhem, as Ming 2 goes right for Diotoir immediately, and puts Diotoir upside down! Ming 2, slow but sweet, takes Diotoir and flips him up on its side. Well, he's got a couple of bed springs to get himself back over, but I don't think that's gonna help him. He's trying to spin his way out of it, but he's trying to spin into the flames, and that's not gonna help him either. Well, if he can't get himself back over again, that 30-second rule is gonna come in, and it looks like Bolt from the Blue won't have had any trouble at all as flames descend on Diotoir from the ever-present Sergeant Bash. The Diotoir boys looking sweaty up in the box as they're getting burnt to a crisp down in the arena. Look at that. Bash just firing him up, If he could have got over, he could have got out of that trouble, but it looks like a new skin job for the Diotoir boys as Refbot puts out the flames. The Diotoir is a crispy history. Which brings us to our first battle of round 2, Firestorm 2 versus Bolt from the Blue.
Roboteers, stand by.
There's Firestorm 2 with that fierce flipping arm, and Bolt from the Blue yet to prove himself.
2, 1, activate.
Firestorm off to a quick start. Bolt from the Blue really trying to take a defensive move here. That flipper arm, oh, he's got Firestorm up. Not high enough, unfortunately. Well, there's just a little bit of trouble coming from Bolt from the Blue. Who would have ever thought? Well, looks like they're going to try to stay out of trouble now. There's the Firestorm 2 boys up there launching himself right up over Bolt from the Blue. Firestorm seems to always come back down when he needs to. And there goes the arena pit. Well, they better stay away from that one. One added little distraction of destruction. There's James Proctor trying to do his damage to the Firestorm crew. Firestorm is having a ride in the wild blue yonder. If neither one of these guys can get immobilized, it's going to have to go down to a judge's decision. Bolt from the Blue testing their reverse gear now. And it seems to be a little bit stronger than the old Firestorm guys. Firestorm's built for speed. The Blue boys are built for power, it looks like. But they might have lost the power in their lifting arm because we haven't seen it since about the first 20 seconds of this round. Firestorm back into it, and there's the 10-second clock. There's no clear winner in the next 5 seconds. It's going to have to go to the judges.
Cease.
And there it is on a tough judge's decision. Firestorm 2 takes out Bolt from the Blue. Next up after the break, Scar versus Ming 2. Well, in case you just joined us, Diotoir took a detour to the scrap heap and got toasted on the way. Which means that Ming 2 and Bolt from the Blue went through. And then in the second round of Heat C, it was Firestorm 2 up against Bolt from the Blue. Firestorm was running circles around and over Bolt from the Blue, and that one went down to a judge's decision. And the judges decided Firestorm 2 to go through. Next up was gonna be Scar versus Ming 2, but Scar had technical difficulties and has been replaced by the Morgue.
Roboteers, stand by.
There's Ming 2, and back from the dead, the Morgue.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Well, if anybody ever asked if there was reincarnation in robots, we can tell you emphatically yes, as the Morgue makes a return with a reprieve up against Ming 2, who's swinging back and forth, trying to get a little wedge underneath the Morgue. The Morgue trying to stay out of trouble. That's his best philosophy, I think, here with the awesome power of Ming 2, and that low center of gravity is put the Morgue upside down and over again. Well, there was a lucky roll. Now we're starting to see the great design feature of the Morgue. When he's put upside down, that's all he can do is roll back on his wheels again. Good thing for them, because Ming 2 has got that awesome flipper. And now, the spikes of the Morgue seems to be coming into play a little bit more. Uh-oh. It looks like the Morgue is taking a little punishment, bending those teeth right up, as Ming 2 pushes the Morgue straight back into Matilda. Matilda with the horns in the Morgue. Oh, it's a Morgue sandwich. And there goes the pit. The pit is opening, just one more thing for one of these bots to have to worry about. As Ming 2 goes right up underneath the Morgue again, trying desperately to do anything he can do to put him out. The audience is yelling for the pit. Dead Metal comes out of the corner patrol zone, but just kind of balks and scares him a little bit as the Morgue still backs up. And Ming 2 looks like he might have a little trouble. Ming 2 doesn't look like he's going forward any further. And Morgue is just pushing him back. Oh, this would be an upset. He's having troubles up on his controls. This is an upset as Shunt comes through with a diamond edge axe. Right down into the top of Ming 2. Well, you know, if he's immobilized for 30 seconds, the housebots can come in, just like Shunt has done, and do a little cleanup. There's Refbot trying to get out of the way as Shunt pushes Ming 2 across into the capable clutches of Sir Kill-A-Lot. The audience wants the pit, and Kill-A-Lot's about to oblige him. ABC, yes! It's an unbelievable upset.
It's Firestorm versus the Morgue. Who will survive? Find out in our final battle next.
Welcome back to Robot Wars, where chaos and carnage reign supreme. So far, you've seen 2 rounds of 2 eliminator heats, where the weakest of the bots have gotten flipped and crisped and crunched, which left 4 bots to battle it out in round 2. And they were Firestorm up against Bolt from the blue. Firestorm pretty much decimated Bolt from the blue. And then it was the Morgue up against Ming 2 in a real upset, where the Morgue ended up winning. And Ming 2 had technical difficulties and got sent to the Morgue themselves. So here's how it lines up for the final of Heat C. Firestorm 2 versus the Morgue.
From Durham, seed number 5, Firestorm.
Well, these boys couldn't be put down. There's Graham Bone and Alex Mordew, Team Firestorm.
From Swansea,
and the Morgue. And there's the pallbearers for the Morgue, Dorian Cordy, Mark Hooper, and Hugh White. Boy, they're lucky to be in this final, I'll tell you that.
Stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Firestorm, not wasting any time, goes for immediate evasive action, trying to go around the rear of Morgue. Firestorm just doing a little pushing around. Oh! Broadsides the Morgue. Gets the Morgue up on 2 wheels, but back down again. Well, Firestorm's definitely got the method here. With that flipper, he knows to broadside the Morgue and get the flipper action going to flip the Morgue upside down. Now he just needs to get around to the side. The Morgue is just kind of like a cow out to pasture. Not much of an offensive thought up in the booth there for the Morgue team. The Morgue's just trying to stay out of the way and hoping it might go down to the judges or something. Firestorm's not going to let it go that far. Firestorm definitely knows the Achilles heel of the Morgue, and they're going to keep working it. Oh, and they work it right over Matilda. Look at that Matilda cam. Got a front-end view of the Morgue just sailing right across. And the Morgue gets out of the corner patrol zone. Lucky for them, they got a little bit of speed left. Firestorm again rolling the Morgue over, but the Morgue comes right back down on its feet again. Firestorm trying to do any amount of damage to incapacitate the Morgue. The Morgue up on 2 wheels again with a little help from Firestorm too. And now up against the railings. Oh, Firestorm's really letting them have it now. Well, there's no doubt in my mind who's taking the real beating here in the final of Heat C. The Morgue, they're just lucky to be in there at all. And Firestorm's gonna let them know it by punishing them a little bit more. Firestorm's just looking for that vulnerable side, and the Morgue knows it's time to get out of the way, because the pit's gonna open. Oh! No way! I can't believe it! This is beyond upset. They're both stuck in the pit, but it looks like Firestorm could have gone in there first, which would be just unbelievable. Let's get another look at that and just see exactly what happened. Firestorm was dominating from the beginning to the end. They had no defense whatsoever, the Morgue, except for rolling over on its back. But it looked to me as if the Morgue was actually on that pit first before Firestorm dropped in. And that's definitely what happened. And Firestorm is the winner of Heat C. So there it is, Firestorm joining Pussycat and Chaos 2 to be in the semifinals later in the series.
Once again, the action is off the charts. Firestorm 2 crushes the competition to be our third semifinal robot. I'm your host, Joni. Join me next time when one more battling bot will survive the onslaught and fight for the right to be called the best of the best. Only on Robot Wars Grand Champions.
Next time in Heat D, it'll be Crusader 2 up against Stag 2 and Kronos. And they'll be meeting Mortis against Iron Ore and Massacre.